through my career, I just realized that the most important lesson were not technical accounting lesson. As a leader, you need to make sure your team is a rock star.
What if the most important lesson of your career had nothing at all to do with the job you were hired to do? Every career leaves something behind. The question is, what will people remember? Today, you're going to meet a finance executive who believes the greatest lessons of leadership aren't found in spreadsheets or financial statements.
Curated chapter, stories worth knowing, hand-selected voices, fascinating people, hidden stories with Sam Humans.
JP Ferrando grew up outside Paris. Every afternoon, he and his sister would stop by the neighborhood bakery to pick up a warm baguette for the family. It rarely made it home untouched. Years later, after leading teams across Europe, Latin America, and North America, JP found himself looking back on moments like that, and they reminded him that the lessons worth remembering often came from ordinary life. That's the book he set out to write. It's called Ledgers and Legacy, a leadership journey beyond the numbers.
I wanted to share those experiences so the other could learn from my success and my mistake, because I think we also, grow with mistakes. So that was what I want to share with my readers.
The longer JP worked with people, the clearer something became. Numbers matter, but people matter more. The relationships, the trust, and the chance to help someone grow, those were the lessons he wanted to pass along.
When you want to get really the trust with your team and you want to lead a change management, you need to have this transparency. You need to have this strategy. The people need to be able to follow you as a leader. And you can get that only if you are very transparent and if you have honest and genuine of what you are saying and what you are sharing. You cannot fake. So that is one thing, is very important as a leader.
Life has a way of teaching the same lesson more than once. Sometimes you learn it at work, but sometimes you learn it somewhere you never expected. For JP, one of those places was the New York City Marathon.
I ran the marathon in New York, and you have months and months of preparation to get to the marathon of New York, and they say you make sure you do this, you do that, and as everyone, I want to go start very fast, and I what we call hit the wall, and at the end I cross the finish line and these kind of things. However, I will say the same thing for the culture difference challenge. When you deal with people in China, it's completely different than leading people in Europe or in America. The approaches are way different. So being a global leader, you just need to put yourself in their shoes and try to understand, okay, why they are reacting on this way. Okay, it's not probably because they don't want to change. It's because you need to understand their culture. So say, okay, I see. That is something I need to focus more to bring them into the change management. So running a marathon, it was learning about myself, learning about my limit, and how I can adapt. You know what I mean? To make sure I can cross the line. Leading with international, different culture is how I can adapt myself to make sure I bring my people with me and we go to the finish line.
The marathon taught JP something about himself. It also helped him understand the way he led other people. Before long, he began seeing those same lessons everywhere he looked.
I started my career, I grew up. I said, okay, let me do physics and chemistry. I'm PhD in physics and chemistry. Guess what? My first job was as a controller in accounting. But at the end of the day, the clarity of the numbers, the logic behind that, and I think when you lead people, there is some logic how to lead people. And I think everyone wants to treat it the same way you would like to be treated. And so how you manage all of that, the precision of the number, I think give me this clarity to say, okay, I think I can lead this project, this group. It makes sense to me. It was just related. You have to take the same detail to the leadership.
As the responsibilities grew, JP noticed something. People weren't just looking for someone who knew the job, they were looking for someone who they could count on.
Is key for success. In order for the people to follow you, they want to say, okay, when you take a decision, you can first develop why you take this decision, and you can support the decision. So when you are consistent with your decision, with your action, with the way you treat the people can trust you and they can follow you. And that's where is the leadership come into play.
And looking back, he says he can now point to a few people who changed the course of his life. They trusted him with opportunities he hadn't imagined for himself. Those moments shaped the kind of leader that he would become.
In my book, I say, okay, there is opportunity in life. And there is some leader that, I follow, and they see something in you and they trust you and they give the chance. When I have my PhD in physical chemistry, I was not an accountant at this time. I was not at the proper degree to be, the controller for the site in Spain. But I have this leader that trusts in me and say, yeah, we can partnership together and we can do that and we can deliver. And that I think that is the key. And sometimes, you think you are good at that and you have an opportunity and you say, let's do it. And you try it and you success and you have another opportunity and people trust you. And as a leader, you need to make sure your team is a rock star. Because this team is your rock star, you will be even a better leader because you can count on them and they count on you.
Careers have a way of passing by faster than we expect them to. Years of hard work can end up fitting inside a cardboard box or a file cabinet, but people have long memories. They remember the ones who encouraged them and the ones who believed in them and the ones who helped them grow.
Long after the people forget about your report, your forecasts, your financial result. And what they will remember is how you treat them and how you help them to grow. That's what they will remember. And I think I want the reader just to remember that, okay? Forget about your report. Forget about what you are doing on day to day. Really focus on treat them the way you want to be treated. And that is your legacy.
Of course, the world doesn't stand still. Every generation faces new challenges, new technology, new ways of doing business. JP says good leaders keep learning right along with it.
What you think you know today, it's you are as built, but by tomorrow it's going so fast, and you need to to embrace everything that's happening in the world. Don't say, "Oh, AI is not for me. I will never use it." If you do that, sorry, you already has been. So you need to grow with that, and the new generation they grow with that. You know what I mean? So as a leader, you need to embrace that. That be part of your journey. Also, never stop learning.
As a young boy walking home through a village outside Paris, JP Ferrando probably wasn't thinking about leadership. He was thinking about warm bread, he was thinking about family, and he was thinking about getting home before too much of the baguette disappeared. But years later, those simple beginnings became part of a much larger story, one built on trust, consistency, and one built on curiosity, and the belief that helping people grow is life's greatest investment. If any of this sounds interesting and you'd like to learn more, the book is called Ledgers and Legacy, A Leadership Journey Beyond the Numbers by JP Ferrando. It's available now wherever you like to buy books online. Thank you for listening to this edition of The Curated Chapter from webtalkradio.com. I'm Sam Humans.
The Curated Chapter. Stories worth knowing. Stories worth knowing. Hand-selected voices. Fascinating people, hidden stories with Sam Humans. Sam Humans. The Curated Chapter. Stories worth knowing.